Eleanor Lamb, the daughter of Sophia Lamb, is a detailed account of yet another child entangled in the snare of Rapture. Like so many others before her, it's a tale of tragedy and intrigue. And so, without further ado, let's explore the topic. To better understand Eleanor, we need to start with Sophia. As I've done a video on Sophia already, this will be brief. Sophia Lamb, as far as I see her after reading Bioshock Rapture, is simply another version of Andrew Ryan.
Same, but different, but still same.
In fact, in the book on page 154, Sophia Lamb reflected, and I quote, "But madness or not, it had been growing like a child within her all the time she'd been in Rapture. She'd been quietly gestating the notion that what Rapture could destroy, it could also save, if it were guided by a new leader." To use her words, she wanted a revolution from within. But, and this doesn't make itself apparent to the reader until much later in the book, page 301 to be exact, she outwardly admits to herself and the reader that she has lost her way. She knows it, and we know it. But guess what? It doesn't matter. She has gone too far with this plan, and she is carrying forward anyway. So it boils down to this. What does Sophia Lamb want? The answer? A single, wholesome society. A utopia. And as such, it stands to reason that these desires would be impressed onto Eleanor. We're first introduced to Eleanor on page 187 in Bioshock Rapture. She's playing with an audio diary, which matches up fantastically, actually, with the game. Take a listen.
Hello, Mr. Diary. Want to play? Actually, I'm quite busy right now, Miss Eleanor. Maybe later. Well, all right. But do you mind if I take you apart while I wait? I promise I'll put you back together. Wait! You can't do that! No! Wait! Eleanor!
Now, the book is kind enough to give us a little bit more insight here to what's going on. For example, Sophia is actually surprised when she listens to Eleanor speak like this to the audio tape. More specifically, it's because Eleanor had commenced stabbing the tape recorder with a screwdriver. A little bit psychotic, but interesting nonetheless. However, the book is kind enough to answer one of the big questions I had while playing the game, which was, what exactly does Sophia Lamb want Eleanor to become? And right before this audio diary is played, Sophia Lamb actually gives us that answer while speaking to Simon Wales. She says, and I quote, "I will keep her right here, train her in safe isolation, make her a paragon of the society to come." It should be added to our discussion that Eleanor is extremely intelligent. She loves to take apart electronics and, by inference, put them back together. So the argument could be made that she begins to stab the tape recorder with a screwdriver because she loves electronics, she loves to take them apart, disassemble them, and probably knows how to put them back together. What's also interesting, though, is Simon Wales asks Sophia about the father. And to that, Sophia merely says that it's a private matter. So comment below, please, if you have any more details about Eleanor's father. Maybe there's a detail in the book or in the game that I missed, and I'd love to hear about it. Sophia Lamb may not have been the model mother figure, but make no mistake, she was definitely smart, intelligent, and cunning. I mean, for goodness sakes, even Frank Fontaine admired her to some degree with her ability to speak to large crowds and drew arguably a lot of inspiration from Sophia Lamb based on those observations. However, there is one audio diary in the game that really is worth listening to because it shows a debate between her and Andrew Ryan. I mean, just listen to this banger.
Reality is consensus, and the people are losing faith. Take a walk, Andrew. It is raining in Rapture, and you have simply chosen not to notice.
My My point to saying all that is that Sophia Lamb is not to be taken lightly, and in turn, that means Eleanor is not to be taken lightly. So in 1957, Sophia takes control of Persephone, the essential prison that she was kept in, built by Andrew Ryan, and during New Year's Eve in 1958, while Bill McDonough is fighting for his life with Elaine after a party gone awry, Sophia Lamb takes back Eleanor. I must say the book and the game do a really good job overlapping each other here. The book addresses X, while the game addresses Y, and on occasion, the two overlap. Overall, huge round of applause to John Shirley. Job well done. The period of time between when Sophia Lamb was arrested by Andrew Ryan and his men and thrown into Persephone to when Sophia Lamb was able to escape and get Eleanor back into her custody was unfortunately a dark period of time for Eleanor. Number one, she was under the care of Grace Holloway, which was probably the one bright spot of this period of time. Number two, she was kidnapped and sold to the Little Sisters orphanage. Number three, she was then turned into a little sister by Gilbert Alexander. And then number four, eventually they were successful once Sophia Lamb got her back and back into her custody to undo a lot of the little sister conditioning. However, the sea slug that was implanted in her belly still remained. The game is kind enough to give us some interaction with Grace Holloway, and I personally think it's one of the bright spots of Bioshock 2. I'm glad she's incorporated, and I love the scenes with her because it helps to tell the story of what Eleanor went through from beginning to middle to end. Take a listen.
I know what you're here for. Go on, take it. I won't have you touching me. Dr. Lamb trusted me to care for her child, and I tried. But baby Eleanor disappeared. And then one day, I see her walking with you, looking wrong. And when I tried to hold her, you knocked me down, broke my jaw. So I'm ready, baby snatcher. Come on in and finish the job.
While that macro storyline of somebody trying to take over Rapture is very similar in Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2, I do think it's Eleanor that gives Bioshock 2 its twist. She injects a much-needed humanity into the game, and for the player, in my opinion, makes it a lot more enjoyable. As Eleanor grows up, however, we learn through the audio tapes that she's beginning to express herself with her own thoughts and opinions. In short, she's rebelling against her mother, and she disagrees with many of the things that her mother is doing. Take a quick listen.
Mother's philosophy is just as corrupt as Ryan's. By her standards, it would be better to have the entire world equally miserable than to allow us to strive in our own behalf. I have to get out of here.
Throughout the game, you play as a character that goes by the name of Subject Delta. Now, Delta was the very first successful Big Daddy who successfully bonded to a little sister, to, you guessed it, Eleanor Lamb. Now, even once Eleanor stopped being a little sister, her connection to Delta remained. That bond and that connection that Eleanor has with Delta needed to be kept secret, and it needed to be kept safe. Towards the latter part of the game, Sophia Lamb takes extreme measures to sever that bond or that connection. So before I play that clip, do you remember earlier how I said in the video that Sophia Lamb admitted she had lost her way? She admitted it to herself, she admitted it to her reader. She does make mention about thoughts about Eleanor wishing that she wasn't alone out there, all alone in Rapture, and essentially worrying about her. And a few pages later, Sophia also makes mention to her missing Eleanor. So do I think that there's a degree of empathy or love here for her daughter? Yes, I do. Do I think that that empathy or love overshadows Sophia Lamb's deep desires and master plan here at Rapture? No. It is clear to me, and I'm going to play for you right now a quick snippet of an audio tape, that while Sophia Lamb has feelings for her daughter and loves her daughter, she is using Eleanor as a vehicle to further drive her master plan. Take a listen.
Eleanor is progressing brilliantly. My physical participation in her birth was minimized, of course. It is vital that I am unhindered by nature's crude bias. I will be, above all, her intellectual progenitor, loyal not to her, but to the people she will ultimately save. But I admit, it is with some measure of pride that I review her marks in standard intelligence tests. As an agent of our beliefs, she may surpass even me.
And as promised, here is the quick scene where Sophia Lamb attempts to sever the connection that Eleanor has with Delta by smothering her with a pillow.
Forgive me.
With that backstory addressed, the story can move forward between Delta and Eleanor, with the decisions that you make as Delta impacting ultimately the end storyline. I hope you enjoyed this video and the backstory on Eleanor, and how it feeds into both the game for Bioshock as well as how it relates to the book Bioshock Rapture. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.